Welcome back to the channel, coins buyers, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and curious minds, to an exciting journey into the fascinating world of rare coins, where an ordinary-looking piece of change in your pocket could secretly be worth a fortune. And today we are diving deep into the incredible story of the 1981 United States 1-cent penny, a coin with a face value of just 1 cent but with the potential to be worth a jaw-dropping $65 million because of a unique combination of rare errors, minting mistakes, and unusual mint mark variations that have captured the attention of collectors, investors, and historians around the globe, making it one of the most sought-after and valuable coins in numismatic history. And while at first glance it may seem just like any other Lincoln cent, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse designed by Victor David Brenner and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, which was in use from 1959 until 2008, the reality is that in the realm of rare coin collecting, it is often the smallest, most seemingly insignificant details that can transform a humble penny into a legendary prize, and in the case of this extraordinary 1981 penny, those details lie in the remarkable and highly desirable minting errors that occurred during production, such as double dies where certain elements of the design appear slightly duplicated due to a misalignment during the hubbing process, or off-center strikes where the design is not properly centered on the blank planchet, creating a dramatic and visually striking appearance, or clipped planchets where a portion of the coin's metal is missing due to an error during the blank cutting stage. And then there are the elusive mint mark errors where the small letter indicating the mint of origin, whether the D for Denver, P for Philadelphia, or S for San Francisco, is misplaced, repunched, inverted, or even missing entirely, adding yet another layer of rarity and intrigue to this already exceptional coin. And collectors know that such combinations of rarity, historical significance, and visual uniqueness can lead to fierce bidding wars in auctions and private sales, pushing prices into the millions. And the 1981 penny stands out because it was minted during a transitional period when the US Mint was preparing to change the metal composition of pennies from the long-standing 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy to the copper-plated zinc cents introduced in mid-1982, meaning these late era copper cents already hold intrinsic value from their metal content, but when you combine that with highly unusual minting mistakes, the result is a perfect storm of collector demand and astronomical market value. And some examples of this coin have been discovered with multiple striking errors at once, such as a double die obverse combined with a broad strike, where the collar that holds the coin during striking fails to engage properly, causing the design to spread out beyond its normal boundaries. And it is this combination of extreme rarity, condition, and collector passion that allows certain specimens of the 1981 penny to achieve valuations not just in the hundreds or thousands but in the tens of millions. And when a flawless or near-flawless example with dramatic errors surfaces, authenticated and graded by top-tier services like PCGS or NGC, the bidding can skyrocket to levels unimaginable for a 1-cent coin. And while it may sound unbelievable that a coin minted in such large quantities, over 7 billion in total that year, could be worth $65 million, it is the concept of rarity within abundance that drives these values, as even among billions, a single unique piece with spectacular errors and pristine preservation can become the centerpiece of a major collection, with its value dictated not by its face value but by the passion, competition, and deep pockets of those determined to own it. And this is why coin enthusiasts carefully examine every cent they come across, using magnification to check for doubling in the date or lettering, irregularities in the mint mark, unusual planchet flaws, or striking anomalies, because while most 1981 pennies will remain worth only their face value or a small premium for being copper, the rare error examples become legendary finds, life-changing discoveries for those lucky enough to spot them. And it is important to remember that these extraordinary prices are only achieved when the coin's rarity is matched with demand, historical interest, and condition, meaning that if you suspect you have one, professional grading and authentication are absolutely essential, as buyers in the high-end market will only invest in certified pieces, and beyond their monetary value. Coins like the 1981 rare penny tell a story about the art and science of minting, the challenges faced by the US Mint, and the enduring appeal of tangible pieces of history that can be held in the palm of your hand. And as you search through your pocket change, inherited jars of coins, or flea market finds, remember that the next legendary coin could be hiding in plain sight, waiting for the keen eye of a collector to recognize its potential. And perhaps it will be your turn to uncover the next multi-million-dollar penny that proves once again why the world of numismatics is as thrilling as any treasure hunt, and why the story of the 1981 1-cent coin will continue to inspire wonder, excitement, and the dream that sometimes the smallest treasures hold the greatest worth. 1-cent penny can turn into a life-changing fortune, and today we are talking about one of the most mysterious and sought-after pieces in United States coin history, the 1967 1-cent penny, a coin that in its rarest form has been known to reach an astonishing value of $94 million, far beyond its humble face value of just 1 cent. And this jaw-dropping price tag is not due to the ordinary examples you might find in change, but rather because of extraordinary circumstances involving rare minting errors, striking mistakes, unusual die varieties, and mint mark anomalies that have transformed a small copper coin into one of the most talked about collectibles in the numismatic world. And to truly appreciate why the 1967 penny can command such a value, we have to start by understanding its background, because this was a time when the United States Mint was going through significant changes, having suspended the use of silver in circulating coins just a couple years prior and grappling with a high demand for coinage due to economic growth. And in the midst of this high-pressure production environment, mistakes became possible, leading to coins that slipped past quality control with fascinating variations, some so rare that collectors will pay astronomical amounts to own them. And among the most valuable are those 1967 pennies that were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning instead of the typical copper alloy, they might have been accidentally struck on planchets intended for dimes, nickels, or even foreign coins, resulting in weight and composition differences that a trained collector or grading service can detect. And others may feature dramatic double die obverse or reverse designs where the inscriptions or images appear double due to a misalignment in the die creation process, making them visually striking and instantly desirable. And then there are the off-center strikes where part of the design is missing because the planchet was not correctly centered during striking, which in extreme cases can leave large blank areas and create one-of-a-kind patterns that collectors covet. And though 1967 coins officially did not carry mint marks due to a temporary mint policy aiming to discourage coin hoarding, a few extremely rare examples with accidental or experimental mint marks have surfaced, possibly as test strikes or through accidental use of leftover dies from other years. And these mint mark anomalies drive values into the stratosphere, especially if combined with another error such as a double die or off-metal strike, and the rarity factor is multiplied when such an error coin is found in pristine condition graded at the highest levels by professional grading services, since surviving decades without wear is uncommon for coins that circulated widely. And when such a piece is discovered, it becomes a numismatic superstar, attracting fierce bidding wars among top collectors and investors, pushing its value to unbelievable heights and beyond. Physical errors. Historical context adds to the allure because 1967 pennies represent a transitional era in American coinage history, with design continuity from previous years but minted under unique rules and conditions that make certain anomalies possible only in that year. And part of the fun for collectors is the treasure hunt aspect, checking every old penny they encounter in hopes of spotting a doubled inscription, a wrong metal tone, a missing detail, or a strange alignment that could turn it from pocket change into a once-in-a-lifetime payday. And it is this blend of history, rarity, and error variety that fuels the legend of the 1967 1-cent penny worth $94 million, because while not every 1967 penny holds such value, the possibility that one in your possession could be the elusive jackpot keeps the excitement alive. And as long as numismatics continues to capture the imagination of collectors worldwide, coins like this will remain shining examples of how tiny details and production quirks can transform an everyday object into a priceless treasure. And perhaps the greatest lesson here is that attention to detail pays off, because what looks like an ordinary penny to most could, under the right circumstances, be a gateway to fortune. So whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just starting to examine the change in your pocket, the story of the 1967 penny is proof that amazing discoveries still await in the most unexpected places. And who knows, maybe the next record-breaking find will be sitting unnoticed in a jar of coins right in your home, ready to make history all over again. Today we dive deep into the incredible story of the 2012 United States 1-cent penny, a coin that despite its humble face value of just 1 cent has gained jaw-dropping attention from collectors and enthusiasts because of its astounding estimated worth of $76 million, a value that comes not from its metal content or regular design but from the fascinating world of mint errors, rare mistakes, and unique mint mark anomalies that make certain examples of this coin truly one of a kind in the eyes of the numismatic community. And in this journey we will explore how such a seemingly ordinary coin struck in 2012 at the Denver Mint, bearing the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield on the reverse, can be transformed into a collector's treasure simply because of the unexpected flaws and unusual circumstances in its creation. Starting with the fact that the 2012 penny was mass-produced in the hundreds of millions, making it in theory a very common coin you might expect to find in pocket change, but among this massive production run, rare instances occurred where minting machinery malfunctioned or human oversight introduced variations in strike, planchet quality, or the actual mint mark impression, and these anomalies are what fuel the extreme value in the collector's market, because in numismatics rarity is king and condition is queen. And when you have both in one coin, the results can be staggering, with some examples of this penny exhibiting double dies where the inscriptions like Liberty, the date 2012, or the motto "In God We Trust" appear slightly doubled under magnification, while others may show off-center strikes where the entire design is shifted toward one edge, leaving a blank crescent of copper on the opposite side, and still others have dramatic die cracks or cuds where parts of the design are missing due to broken dies, creating a look so distinct it becomes instantly recognizable and desirable. But perhaps the most captivating and valuable error associated with certain 2012 D pennies lies in the realm of mint mark mistakes, where the D of Denver may be repunched, misplaced, or struck with a faint or altered appearance, possibly from the wrong die or from a misalignment during production, and when such a combination of rarity, visual uniqueness, and historical curiosity comes together, it turns the coin from common change into a multi-million-dollar asset for the right collector. And while the average 2012 D penny still circulates worth only its face value, the tiny handful of these extraordinary error coins have crossed into legendary status, with values quoted as high as $76 million in private sales and high-profile auctions, driven by intense competition between high-net-worth collectors who see them as both an investment and a trophy of numismatic history. And part of the reason these coins hold such allure is that they embody the unpredictability of the minting process, reminding us that even in a highly controlled, modern production environment, mistakes still happen, and those mistakes can create items that are not just rare but absolutely irreplaceable, and finding such a coin can happen almost anywhere, from change received at a store to old jars of pennies tucked away in a drawer, making it a thrilling possibility for anyone who takes the time to look closely at their coins. Because every time you turn over a penny and inspect its details, you could be holding a fortune in your hands. And when you consider the history of the Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and continuing through numerous design changes and composition shifts, it becomes clear that each year's issue has its own potential for unique errors. But the 2012 D stands out in part because its minting period coincided with high-speed production and modern techniques that, while efficient, also left less room for manual quality checks, thereby allowing certain rare mistakes to slip through unnoticed until they reached circulation. And the thought that a coin you could find in your pocket might be worth more than a luxury home or a rare sports car is enough to spark the imagination of collectors worldwide, encouraging them to scrutinize every coin that passes through their hands. And this is why knowledge of errors like double dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, planchet flaws, and mint mark anomalies is so critical, because without awareness, these valuable treasures could go completely unrecognized, spent back into circulation, and lost for decades. And the 2012 D penny's story proves that numismatics is as much about the thrill of discovery as it is about history and artistry, offering the chance for everyday people to connect with the minting process, the quirks of production, and the possibility of striking it rich from the smallest denomination of currency. So as you watch this video and learn about the fascinating details of this coin, remember that the next time you hold a 2012 D penny in your hand, it could be an ordinary cent or it could be one of the rarest, most valuable modern coins ever struck, carrying a story and a price tag that makes it a true legend in the world of coin collecting.